Right, we are live.
Oh, we're cooking up something big today, ladies and gents. We're cooking up something big.
Yeah, we are cooking something big. Welcome to Big Brain Cricket presents weekend after IPL. We had a really IPL.
So before we get started, you must note that um, RCB won day before yesterday. BFC won 5-0 yesterday, and someone from RCB won today.
Yeah,
So people from Bangalore are pretty happy. That much I can say. But
yeah,
as cricket fans, we are still slightly pissed off because of the mentality being shown by perhaps one of the greatest franchises to have ever played 16 years of the tournament.
16 years. Yeah, good,
Um, so
good,
where
good
do we
game.
start? Do we start with Dhoni? Do we start with the toss? Where do we go with this?
No, we start with the post-match presentation.
We start with the post-match presentation of RCB versus CSK because
Yeah,
we didn't notice one thing, which was the statement that Fleming gave, right? So this was a statement that happened after our live session, so we didn't know it happened. But once we found out about that statement, I feel like we should address it before we move forward with this conversation.
yeah,
The goat is in the comment section. Very nice, very good to see.
yeah.
All right, so Fleming in the press conference said that we do not know how these wickets are going to behave anymore. It's as if we don't have any home advantage at all. That pisses me off because they have a 70% win rate at home. And to claim that you don't have a home advantage in conditions that stay by and large consistent throughout an IPL tournament, except for the fact that dew does show up on certain specific days, it's criminal to make a statement like that, in all honesty. And we could have expected that, oh, it was only 50 runs from Gaikwad, but Fleming, who's been there for pretty much the entire duration, this entire journey that CSK has been through, Fleming has been a part of it. And to hear a statement like that coming from him was very disappointing, in all honesty. I am. I should also emphasize on the fact that they had seen no dew at Chepauk for 3 days prior to that match. So choosing to bowl on a pitch like that when there is no dew is something that is causing their own downfall. And you can't sit and blame the conditions and say that there is no home advantage in a place like that because Chennai is the most home advantage structured ground ever, especially looking at the way their team is built.
Yeah. On top of that, what was more pissing off is the fact that Fleming saying, since 2023, we have not been able to read the conditions here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Like, I agree. Like, they have Fleming has been part of CSK for the entirety of the existence of CSK for 16 years. There
Yeah.
were a few years that COVID happened. They had their home venue in Pune, Ranchi, but whatever happened always went in their favor. Pune, they had familiar conditions. Ranchi,
Familiar
they had
conditions.
familiar conditions. They
Even
went
even
to the
when
off.
IPL moved to Dubai, slower pitches were suitable for them. Even though they screwed up in 2020, they made up for it in 2021 because the pitches were slow at the end of the day.
The reason why CSK was able to make a comeback in 2021 of the later part of the IPL
Tosses.
was due to the slower pitches.
Yeah, and the
And
tosses
and
was,
the toss,
they,
yeah,
they were just
obviously
an extra boost,
tosses
obviously.
tosses
Yeah,
win games in UAE. Yeah,
absolutely.
and this year they went to the auctions having a clear plan with the wish list of getting back a few CSK players, making Chepauk a spin fortress yet again. Everything went according to their favor. Chennai had a resurface. They
Yeah,
had a very if you observe the second innings, there was help for the turn. Suyash Sharma got
absolutely.
Very good turns over there. Even
Good
Livingston got
googlies overall.
turns.
Yeah, I mean,
So
bro, if it's a pitch where Livingston is looking like Varun Chakravarti, we said it in the previous live itself. It is
yeah,
absolutely a rank turner.
as our Malol and Rangarajan said, Shane Livingston was Shane Warne and Graeme Swan with the ball that
Yeah,
night.
with the ball. Exactly.
So when
Yeah,
you
I
look
mean, just
at
those. Yeah,
like there was no due and they took a gamble on chasing. During the post-match presentation, he says the due didn't come in and it didn't go our way and we lost by just 50 runs. He
yeah.
makes
Look, we
both
covered
sides
that.
statements here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I
We
have
covered that as we said in the previous live. That was, that was very redundant as a statement from him. But all right, so let's take a look at today's game. Right, it started off pretty well. Ruturaj Gaikwad won the toss, chose to bowl, and we know that in Guwahati, uh, once you've chosen to bowl, you're pretty sorted because there is a lot of spin that is offered by this wicket, but also at the same time you get a good amount of dew in the second innings to help you chase your total down. And we saw that in the previous match that RR played against KKR. Quinton de Kock absolutely obliterated the RR bowling lineup. So it goes without saying that it's a good surface to bowl on, especially in the first innings. So starting off and restricting them to around 180 was perfect in my opinion. Like they stopped them from getting to 200 with that brilliant death bowling from Patirana, and that should have been a game that should have been secured by CSK.
yeah. Rajasthan had a blistering power play, even though they lost one wicket of Jaiswal. 66 for one was a very good power
Yeah,
play score on that slow, sluggish surface. The key
yeah.
to chase in slow, sluggish surface is to maximize on the power play. Uh, that's one area CSK lost the game then and there itself.
Twice, twice in a row.
Twice in a row. Yeah. Slow power play starts. Fleming saying the batting will look entirely different as and when they progress towards the end of the season. No promises. Well, they managed to get Vijay Shankar in place of Deepak Huda. One
Look,
boundary.
Vijay Shankar, see, as we spoke about it in the previous live itself, Vijay Shankar is the same as Rahul Tripathi and Deepak Huda. It is, I'd say, it's a bit of an upgrade because he does know the Chennai conditions a bit better than the other two. But at the end of the day, you have still picked a squad with three Deepak Hudas.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
So it all boils down to the same statement made by Gaikwad at the toss. We have two changes. Jamie Overton is coming in for Sam Curran, and Vijay Shankar comes in for Deepak Huda. So that brings about the question: where is Devon Conway?
is he still stuck in New Zealand?
I have no clue, bro. I
Okay.
mean, as far as I know, if he's stuck in New Zealand, he might as well be stuck in CSK anyway because it's the same thing, right?
Yeah. Uh, but CSK made a few changes tonight during the chase, which
Yes.
are some positive signs. Dubé
Hmm.
was locked in at four, which is a good sign.
Exactly.
He
Good.
was able to make the impact, but very
Absolutely.
unfortunate he got out. Uh, Unfortunate of Rachin Ravindra, one off day because he had two good games in the season.
Yeah.
Um, and Dhoni getting promoted up the order, good signs again.
Back to number six, where he well and truly belongs. Nothing lower than that. Uh, that's the perfect slot for him. I would play him at five if I can, but as at this point, Dhoni or Jadeja, anyone works out. Left,
Now,
right,
I'd like to think of a
almost.
replacement for Rahul Tripathi and Vijay Shankar and try to get in two other Indian batsmen who can play
Look,
because
it's very simple. It's very simple. You don't need to we don't have to break our heads over this, right? CSK's batting depth goes on until number nine, if I'm not wrong. Okay, and so your number nine is going to be Ravi Ashwin.
Mhm.
So if your batting depth is going down that low, you could afford to have Ashwin at number 8. You swap out Jamie Overton for Devin Conway, and you swap out Vijay Shankar for Anshul Kamboj, right? So Anshul Kamboj gives you an added bowling option, which is much better than what Jamie Overton could possibly give you. And Devin Conway gives you a much, much, much more solid batting option. Make him open with Gaikwad. Play Rachin at 3, play Tripathi at 4 where he belongs, or drop him, play Dubey. Honestly, yeah, play Dubey at 4, screw it. Um, at number 5, you play either, Tripathi, Vijay Shankar. That's where CSK like shuffling their order around, right? So forget about everything that happens below number 5. Your top 3 should be locked in as Ruturaj Gaikwad, Devin Conway, and Rachin Ravindra, followed by Shivam Dubey at 4. If there's an early wicket, then they can think about shuffling it around. But this is how we would want the batting lineup to look.
Yeah, I'm not sure with Rachin at 3 because Rachin is someone who likes a bit of cushion with the early balls. He
He
can
does,
play.
but
Yeah,
he's been playing at 3 pretty consistently everywhere else. So it just feels like you're wasting what Ruturaj Gaikwad could give you in the power play because he's done a better job in the past. He's been more consistent, and Gaikwad Conway is a combination that worked for CSK brilliantly in 2023. They went and it was unfortunate that they lost out on Conway in 2024, but now that they have the option of playing Conway, they're still choosing not to. And by the time they decide to play him, it's going to be too late in the tournament.
yeah. See, in case they manage to bench Tripathi, in that case, it makes sense of Ruturaj playing at number 3. If they
Works.
are playing in similar spin-friendly conditions, it is better for Ruturaj to come in at 3 because he's a better player in the middle order to tackle the spin.
Fair. No, okay. So Abhishek has made a point saying Rachin is an ODI player. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It is true. Rachin is hands down a much better ODI player, and this was a statement made by P Dog as well. He is not equally good in T20s. He does like to take some time, and it is unfortunate looking at him, play like this in conditions that might not exactly suit his style of play. He's a little bit more used to playing on slightly flatter wickets, which allow him to play with a high strike rate. But on pitches like this, he still showed a decent amount of maturity in the previous 2 games that he's performed in. Today was a duck. I'd say that's a rare good day for Jofra Archer rather than a bad day for Rachin. But overall, it is, it's not looking too good for CSK, is it?
See, Rachin is still young and he doesn't has the numbers to prove himself as the T20 player, but he has the skill to be the best T20
Yeah,
player. Still early days, but I think he'll do a pretty good job as an opener. Right now, yeah,
yeah,
he likes a bit of cushion, takes the start a bit slow. Uh, he's he takes those risks very calculatively. Uh, that's
yeah.
just
He
the
has the
crux of it.
maturity. He has way more maturity while batting than anyone else in the entire batting lineup. It comes back to the same statement once again. Rachin is the best batter in the entire lineup for sure.
Yeah.
Right. So let's now look at how the RR innings, panned out. They lost 9 wickets, which was bound to happen. If you compare it with the game that happened between RR and KKR a few days ago, it was almost a photocopy of that. The team that bats first gets to a decent total, loses a lot of wickets in the process, 9 wickets in this case, and they end up at something that is respectable, courtesy Nitish Rana with an absolute banger of a knock now that they've promoted him back to number 3 where he belongs.
Mm-hmm.
Which also meant that Riyan Parag could contribute a little bit more than what he's done so far. And he gave them a 37 of 28. There was a small collapse in between. I still don't know why they're playing one into Hasaranga ahead of Hetmayer. but you know, the Tala concept works.
I don't know why teams still persist on pushing Wanindu Hasaranga as a batter. Nah, he can't deliver in IPL. His batting has gone down,
Yeah,
especially in leagues like IPL where the quality of the bowling
the
and batting
bowling is
is
much
much
better.
higher.
Yeah,
You can't get much from Wanindu Hasaranga.
absolutely. Hetmeyer did give them a decent enough finish. It was around 20 below par, in my opinion. They were looking at a
Yeah, they
200
were 20
total
short,
for
easily
sure.
20 short.
Yeah, easily
From
20
the
short.
from the position that Ara were cruising in, it's easily 20 short as they lost quick 4 wickets in the final 4 overs.
Exactly. So CSK's positives with the ball, Khalil Ahmed in the power play, absolutely brilliant. We will get to BC versus SRH. Let's just go through the previous three games that have happened over the past 2 days, and then we'll
Yeah.
get to that match properly. Khalil Ahmed in the power play, top class once again. Khalil Ahmed in the death needs a little bit of work, but still finished well with his fourth over. Jamie Overton, it's just Sam Curran all over again. There's no need to elaborate on that. Ashwin, very, very, very disappointing. And it's not a surprise because CSK did go ahead and spend 9.5 crores on a player that is retired once again. And I
Yeah.
really don't think that,
Ashwin was a more of an emotional buy than a skillful
absolutely,
buy.
yeah.
Over the past few years,
They should have gone Washington Sundar.
yeah, he's
It would
been
have helped them a little more.
he's not keen on getting those wickets. He's been very defensive. Uh, in a season for a lead spinner picking up 14, 16 wickets in a season, that's just
Yeah,
mediocre. Uh,
yeah,
that's just mediocre for the standards that Ashwin has set himself. And
absolutely.
he just bowls carom balls. He
Yeah,
doesn't back his off spinner delivery. For a prime off spinner, if he doesn't back his off spinning delivery, then what's the point of spending 9.5 crores? Even any batter can bowl an off spinner in
absolutely.
today's T20 games. So
Yeah,
a
because
genuine
I
off
mean,
spinner is
if you have players like Liam Livingstone performing better bowling off spin than Ashwin, it is a cause for concern. I'm sorry to say it, but it is a cause for concern. And Bhavanti is not wrong. Ashwin was not a smart buy, not for 9.5 crores for sure. When they could have gotten way better options out there in the market. It was definitely an emotional buy. Um, the better half of it, however, was a well spent, I think, 10 crores on Noor Ahmed. He is giving them dividends, purple cap holder. Once again, performed, economy of 7, clean bowling. And the the other side of this spectrum is the fact that Ashwin completed 4 overs and Jadeja bowled only two, despite having an economy of 5. Now, were they hesitant to bowl Jadeja because Hetmeyer was batting? Were they not ready to let a left-hander bat against left-arm spin? Was that the situation, or were they just not confident in Jadeja's bowling abilities? It's
yeah,
hard to tell. It's very difficult to figure out what's going on in Ruturaj Gaikwad's head. I think he just needs to like chill out a little bit, understand that it's not as complex as it sounds. Today's pitch was hands down one of the easiest pitches to read because it was a photocopy of what happened in the KKR match against RR, including the pitch conditions. Shane Watson said in the pitch report as well. It's the exact same pitch.
yeah. It was a true and fair wicket. Something to
Absolutely,
offer for the bowlers and something for the
absolutely.
batters as well. So no complaints over there.
So I think another issue that P Dog also stressed upon, not just P Dog, but also I think Krishnamachari Srikanth in his Chiki Chika vlog, it's that despite CSK having good spinners, they forgot to invest on good players off spin, and that is showing pretty clearly in the way they're playing, right?
Yeah,
Deepak Huda,
that's what
Rahul
we said
Tripathi
in
is
our
not really
preview
helping.
too.
Rachin Ravindra is the only good player of spin in that entire team. Ruturaj Gaikwad does have his good days, no shying away from that. But it's Ravindra over here. Ruturaj somewhere over here, and then everyone else crumpled down there on the floor. And we saw how bad it was with Dhoni today as well. They had a leg slip.
CSK forgot to invest in a quite a lot of things. Yeah, they forgot to add umpires to the cart as well.
All right. Back to the topic. Rachin Ravindra got out for a duck. Two brilliant overs in the power play from Jafra Archer. I almost started to believe that the old Jafra from 2019 is back. And then he bowled his third over and we were fine. Um, Tripathi, slow start again. 23 of 19 is not going to help that cause. And the 23 of 19 is a boost from what it was in the power play. He started off very slowly. He was going at less than a run a ball. Ruturaj Gaikwad, once again, 63 of 44 is good in the circumstances, but I'm sorry to say that he couldn't accelerate the innings fast enough. I think the right time to do it was when Shivam Dubey was on strike on the other end. The only good sign from today was the intent shown by Shivam Dubey. And
Also, the
yeah,
intent from
from
Rutraj
there,
Gaikwad. His
yes,
stats in 175 plus chases was he was averaging 10,
yeah,
uh, around the likes of Amit Mishra in the history of IPL.
yeah,
But well, this innings from Gaikwad is a bit promising for the CSK fans. There was intent. He was
absolutely.
playing spin well. It might look like a tuk-tuk innings, but he was trying
Yeah,
to accelerate.
look, he was the only one carrying that batting lineup, so he does get a pass over there. But I want to touch up on another thing that we heard during commentary. I do not know how true this is. I don't know how accurate the statistic is. But I think it was Matthew Hayden on commentary who said that CSK have never chased down a 180 plus total
Yeah,
in
they have.
their quota of 20 overs since 2019. Now, the one exception to this, I think, which Matthew Hayden does not remember, is Faf and Shane Watson chasing down Punjab's target of 181 with 10 wickets to spare, which happened in 2020.
Yeah.
And the
One.
2023 final doesn't count because they were chasing 170 due to DLS, which leaves no other successful chase of a target that's above 180.
Yeah, leave the years. Even from like 2022 or 23, that's a mind-boggling stat. Uh, 180s are the new 160s with impact
Yeah,
player rule, but having to
absolutely.
that's some serious weakness that you're showing in terms of chasing.
I mean, yeah, we've seen this time and time again over the past few years. They've gotten close, but it's just not happened. And I really do think that it has something to do with the dwindling finishing abilities lower down the order.
Yeah.
So we're done.
Let's
We're done
also
with
talk
Shivam Dubey, done with Vijay Shankar. Ravindra Jadeja played ahead of Dhoni. Good move today, worked out in their favor. He did come out and show a decent amount of intent. 32 of 22 is a pretty decent knock.
yeah.
Dhoni, on the other hand, it might look like a good knock, right? But you need to pay attention to how it panned out. When Dhoni came into bat, the required rate, I think they were 129 for five. So he plays a dot ball against Hasaranga to end the over. Bro, I've just had enough of Raidu cocksucking that guy's ass.
Yeah,
Cocksucking
if
that guy's
any of
ass.
the
Like,
tech
that makes no
dudes
sense.
go feature, we want a feature where we can block content based on faces, because
Yeah.
keyword blocking is not helping at the moment.
It's not helping. I really don't want Ambati Rayudu on my feed anymore, dude. So let's look at the deliveries that Dhoni has faced, right? A dot followed by a single, another single, a dot, and a single. By by the end of this point, the 18th over was done, and suddenly they needed 40 of the last two. So he plays six balls, and he goes at he gives you 4 runs out of those six balls. Now, as a finisher, if Dhoni is walking into play at number six or number seven, you cannot afford that margin of six balls to give himself that time anymore. Dhoni did his job after he made sure that the run rate was beyond reach once again because the run
See,
rate climbed up to 20 in the last 2 overs.
yeah, he finished with a strike rate of 145.45, which might
Exactly.
look massive for a finisher. But
Yeah.
what you have to see here is that 16 runs included 1 6 and a 4, and he
Exactly.
made 7 balls.
So yeah. So
Yeah,
out
for
of
a
those,
finisher, you would be looking for him to play as less dot balls as possible.
exactly. So once you start off with 4 runs of your first 6 balls and you've depleted 2 overs in this time frame, getting 20 of both the 19th and the 20th over is practically impossible with the quality that Sandeep Sharma provides. Now, Tushar Deshpande made us believe for just a second over there that he was CSK's double agent, and they did manage to get 19 of that over, which is
Bro,
brilliant.
Tushar Deshpande in the
But
first 2 overs, absolute Malcolm Marshall. What were
too
those?
good. Beautiful deliveries. He was getting some movement. He was getting help off the pitch. It was really good to watch. And he has improved. Like once he's come into RR, he has improved at least with the new ball, if not the death.
Yeah, but the death bowling is
Now,
still the same.
the death bowling is still the same for sure. He leaked 19 in his 19th over, and it included a 4 and a 6 from Dhoni and an absolutely ballistic shot from Jadeja towards, I think, long leg,
Yeah.
somewhere around mid wicket long leg region. It was huge. But then they needed 20 of the last over. Once again, it is Sandeep Sharma
Too
versus
much
MS
time.
Dhoni round two. It is a repeat of what we saw in 2023. Last time it was 21 to get off the last over, Sandeep versus Dhoni. This time it was 20 to get off the last over, Sandeep versus Dhoni. Once again, it is a slightly slower pitch, but Dhoni is able to, Dhoni has, at least in the small course of his innings, somehow displayed that he is hitting the ball pretty cleanly. What does he do? Bowls a wide, which is a slower bouncer that goes above Dhoni's head. What does Dhoni think now? Okay, he's bowling a slower ball. What happens next? He
Full
goes
toss.
in for a low, wide full toss, which is a Yorker attempt. Dhoni is not able to get under the ball because he expects another slower one down into the pitch. So the variation really did help Sandeep Sharma to somewhat bamboozle Dhoni because his reflexes aren't the same anymore. He wasn't able to adapt to a full toss. Speaking of which, speaking of full tosses, there was an over from Tikshana just before the Tushar Deshpande over. The last ball of that over, I think, no, sorry, the second last ball of that over was a full toss that Dhoni played to covers for a dot. So
It's
it's
all
it's
typical Malcolm.
mind-boggling to see how it's like all gone downhill, and they really need to start figuring out how to slot Dhoni into this team because what he's providing for the team is not the same as what he used to.
Yeah.
Dhoni in 2018 would have made us piss our pants at this point.
Oh, that was dangerous, Dhoni.
That
Before
was dangerous.
2019, that was
When
dangerous, Dhoni. Yeah.
yeah, everything before that World Cup semi-final was dangerous, and ever since that World Cup semi-final, he's found a fetish for playing lower and lower down the order, and it's something that I've never understood ever since that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that brought us to. Oh, we did discuss Nitish Rana's knock. We should probably get into a little bit more depth on that.
Yeah.
So, to give you a little bit more detail about Nitish Rana's knock, I had not kept him in my Dream 11 team, so I fell asleep while he was batting.
Well,
And
good
when
morning, and
I
yeah.
yeah, I woke up, I said good morning, only to find out that Nitish Rana was batting at a strike rate of 200 on a pretty difficult surface at that point. It did get easier to bat on, but at that point it was difficult. But thanks to him, they made it to 200. They made it to a score that made it look like they were going to get to 200, which ended up not happening. But oh yeah, he absolutely decimated Ashwin. Um, it was a very sorry sight to see, in my opinion, because this is not the Ashwin of those peak old days.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I
With
think
that,
the
we
the
should wrap.
over that Ashwin bowled to Samson and Nitish Rana, he took him for two sixes and one four.
Pretty insane.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, with
And yeah,
that
he
we
ended with a run. I think a total tally of 46 runs given away in his 4 overs quota. So
yeah,
that's, I don't know. It's sad to look at the CSK team right now, man.
yeah. Let's just quickly
Hopefully they
talk.
make. Hopefully they listen to us. Hopefully they sit down and watch our preview to understand what a good playing 11 is. So
Yeah,
let's turn back the clock a little bit to
for the
3:30
afternoon.
p.m. this morning. I mean this afternoon.
Yeah,
SRH versus DC Vishakhapatnam. We expected a blast sesh because Vishakhapatnam is a pretty flat track of maybe a
it is the
220, 230
flattest
target
track
for
in
sure.
India.
Absolutely. It's one of the flattest in India. And you can easily expect a 220, 230 target on a track like this. And suddenly, Mitchell Stark pulls up and pretends like it's the knockouts of 2024. That is all I can say.
And
Mitchell
it also
Stark has owned SRH time and time and time again over the past couple of years. And it's pretty insane to look at because Abhishek Sharma scores 1, Ishan Sharma 2, Nitish Reddy 0. All three of them, I mean, Abhishek Sharma was run out because he was running like an
very
absolute
unfortunate.
fool. Very, very, very lazy from him. You know, very disappointing, I must say.
Yeah.
But head Ishan Kishan, Nitish Reddy, followed by two free wickets down the order with Mulder and Harshal Patel. A solid fifer for Mitch Stark.
Dude, SRH had just three double-digit scores. Rest everyone in the single digits. That's
Yep.
insane.
Yeah. So Travis
Finding
Head did
it,
start off pretty well once again.
what a
But what is
finding
this
it was.
talent? What is this talent? Where did they find him?
You pull up
Why
his
did
T20
we
numbers,
not
it
know
shows
about this
zero.
dude?
You pull
Yeah,
up his
exactly.
T20
There's
numbers, it shows zero.
Yeah, I think another factor today was as soon as Pat Cummins came to the toss and said Zishan Ansari is playing today, I I was very excited about it because I have done a bit of research about him myself in the background. A guy from Lucknow who is a very Ravi Bishnoi style bowler. He's he's much more prominent with his googlies and he uses his googly as his stock delivery with leg spin as his alternate variation, right? And I was actually honestly very excited to watch him bowl. The only issue, oh yeah, he helped me clutch my dream 11 for sure. After Stark completely ruined my numbers, Hmm, we had a pretty solid rebuilding phase from Aniket Verma and Henrik Clausen. So that ended up getting them to a score of 163. Now, I am also concerned about Abhinav Manohar because he's
Yeah,
not lived up to the same expectation. And once again, it's about playing him at the right position.
yeah. Pretty surprising from Abhinav Manohar. I hope he really comes back a bit stronger from the next games. Uh, we have
Look,
huge
see, the problem is that Abhinav Manohar is being utilized in SRH in exactly the same way that Gujarat utilized him,
yeah.
which is playing him way out of position down at number 6, 7, 8, you name it. Abhinav Manohar should not be played anywhere below 5, and he will give you good dividends at that position.
Hmm. Yeah, but
That's
where else do you fit Abhinav Manohar up the order? They don't have
Look,
any
ideally speaking, it would have been Aniket
Aniket
Verma's
Verma.
slot, but now that he has started pulling up in style thanks to them pushing Abhinav Manohar down the order, they will persist with Verma. And keeping Abhinav Manohar in the side now is just to create the illusion that the batting depth exists, which means Klassen can come out and play with a little bit more freedom, knowing that there's a couple of people to come in after him. That is the
Yeah.
only purpose that it serves anymore. Now, who else do they have in their squad to, you know, come in place of Abhinav Manohar? They have Sachin Baby, which once again is a top order case.
Yeah, downgrade.
Their yeah, their other option would be Atharva Taide, Punjab Cup, we're not talking about that.
Yeah, there's a bit of banter going on in the comment section. So let's just give some highlight over there. So these guys think DC is Delhi Daredevils. Abhishek thinks DC will win 14 out of 14 games. Bro, insane.
Look, I
14
I
out
did
of
say I'll
14.
say it once again. What I said in my post-auction review still holds good. We will see at least two out of the three trophyless teams qualifying this year,
Easily, yeah.
which I think hasn't happened before, right? We've never had two of them qualify in the same year
Mm.
because Punjab qualified in
And from the
2014
Holy
when
Trinity. No. From the Holy
yeah,
Trinity.
yeah. We're not counting LSG in this. LSG doesn't qualify even as the Holy Trinity. I don't like that team in general.
Yeah.
Screw those days. We're just looking at Punjab, Delhi, and Bengaluru. Out of these three, I don't think we've seen two teams qualify in the same year together. But this year feels like that year.
Yeah, see, with Harry Brook and DC, I was a bit hesitant because their combination would not fit in well. But Harry Brook moving out is a blessing in disguise for Delhi.
Is a absolutely it allows them to play fast
Yeah,
freely without any issues whatsoever.
if
Uh,
JFM pulls up, it will be one of the dangerous opening pace after Kohli and Salt.
Absolutely. Um, I think JFM did find a little bit of form today, even though he played pretty slowly. He did manage to pick up towards the second half of his innings. Abhishek Porel hit some good shots, so the ball is hitting the middle of his bat as well. KL Rahul walked in at number four and hit the most monstrous six I've ever seen him hit in a long time in the IPL. It's been a while since I've seen KL play with intent like that. It is
Yeah, from
very
Paul.
refreshing to see. Look, as an ardent KL Rahul fan, 15 of 5 is absolutely brilliant to watch. And it's very funny knowing that KL Rahul's fastest 50 has come against the side that he now plays for.
Yeah. JFM was struggling. Then during the strategic timeout, KP walked down, had a word
KP
with.
walked down. Yeah,
That was such a beautiful sight to watch being a KP fan. That helped him.
absolutely.
It was clearly visible. There was some intent towards the spin. Very unfortunate he got out to Zishan Ansari.
Yeah.
Looks like a leggy problem for JFM.
Yeah, look, for to us as RCB fans, we like Delhi as a team because it's all players that we connect with. It's players that have made us happy in the past, not just within the playing level, but in the coaching system as well. Because KP is someone that we've adored for years together. You know, not just with England, also as RCB captain back in the day. And to see players like Paf, KL, Mitch Stark, all these guys in the team just makes us feel like it's another version of us playing out there. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's a completely different team. I know it's not right to be like taking credit for it, but it's just that we connect with these players a lot more than we do with most others.
And upon that, we had Vijay Bharadwaj as the talent scout for
As a
DC,
talent
and
scout,
he has
exactly.
found what's his name? Starting with V. I
Vipraj Nigam. Vipraj Nigam is a beautiful find. He made sure he grabbed Ashutosh Sharma in the auction. Vijay Bharadwaj as a talent scout is something that I'd really been wanting to see. Just Vijay Bharadwaj in the coaching system or the management itself is something that we've been waiting to see for a long time, ever since his days in RCB. I think he used to be a batting coach back in the day. No, 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 no. I think he was a spin bowling coach or something. Not sure.
Yeah, something, yeah.
Yeah, something.
But
But that was back in 2011 or 12 when the Champions League and all was going on.
yeah, man, if DC loses a single game this season, I'm gonna cry for real. This is the year. I think you might have to stock up your tears for April 10th. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a
yeah,
crazy game as well.
yeah, hammering in Chinnaswamy for real.
It will be crazy. It will be very problematic if DC bats second with that whole Ashutosh Sharma factor coming in. If not, it's something that RCB can work with. I think that's going to be the best game of the season for sure. It's two teams with a lot of you know metal, and
Yeah,
it's definitely going to be an interesting contest. There's no doubt there.
yeah. And seeing Faf and Chinnaswamy not wearing red and gold, KL,
Oh,
pretty emotional game.
KL Rahul, Star. Yeah, it is emotional, but again, as I said, it's players that we connect with. Look, if the same guys had gone to CSK, then we would have been abusing them by now. But because we see them in Delhi Capitals, a team that we really do connect with on a personal level, because same 18 years drama exists on both ends.
Yeah,
It's
plus we
something
have
that we do
Parth,
like to see.
who is the co-owner of Delhi. He owns
Exactly.
many
Parth Jindal is
connections.
the owner of BFC as well. So again, it's all in here.
Yeah. Good night, Shruti. Thanks for staying
Good
up
night,
till
Shruti, once
12:31.
again.
It's
Mm.
Monday.
Go
Bye.
Malko. Malko, Malko, Malko. Mwah. All right. I think is that all? Did we cover everything? No, we haven't covered the bowling. Ah, yes, Dishan Ansari. Um, so the Delhi batters gifting their wickets to Zishan Ansari might come as a surprise to a lot of people out there. But there was a little bit of assistance for spin on this pitch in the second innings. So there's no doubt over there because it wasn't a true Visakhapatnam surface like always. I think it was a mixture of a bit of clay and black soil. So it was a bit of a double layered pitch, which meant that in the second innings, we would definitely see a bit of a turn. And that was personally why I thought SRH had a better chance since they won the toss. I mean, since they were batting first, even though Delhi was the team that Delhi won the toss, right?
No,
No, sorry,
SRS.
SRH won the SRH won the toss and chose to bat. Yeah, I I was honestly pretty surprised that it didn't work out for them, but I think that credit goes completely to the likes of Stark, Mukesh, and Kuldeep.
Yeah. Fun fact, after Delhi missed out on getting Virat Kohli in
Virat
2008,
Kohli, they've gone for every single under 19 captain after that.
oh, that's some strong regret from the owners.
Yeah, not just in the men's team, but also the women's team as well. They got Shefali Verma, followed by Nikki Prasad,
Yeah. Or
who
else
were
DC would
both
have
under
been the
19
most successful.
seasons.
Not sure that Kohli ended up in our franchise.
Bro,
We
Kohli
have
ended up in RCB. Are we the most successful team in history? We're not. We have, bro, both DC and RCB have posted. Bro, DC had AB de Villiers at one point, if you do remember. AB de Villiers and Andre Russell used to play in Delhi Daredevils together.
they had Sanju Samson. They had a lot of players.
I think they had David Warner, Ross Taylor, Sanju Samson. They lost Shreyas Iyer. They
Viru,
lost AB de Villiers, Viru, Russell.
or
Yes, you
else
guys, you
quite
guys
quite
had
a
you guys had Bolt. Yeah, Trent Bolt, JP, Trent Bolt in 2018-19. That phase was insanely good for them. JP Domini was great for you as well. You had Zahir Khan towards the latter
towards
end
the
of his career,
end.
which yeah, didn't do much. So it does baffle me as to how teams like RCB and DC could never make it all the way. It's crazy that Delhi didn't make it to a playoff until Shreyas Iyer took over and sorted things out for them in 2019.
Well, they
As
had
in,
one playoff. They finished strong with Viru when Viru was captain. Uh,
yes,
the qualifier one. It
yeah, and
baffles
then
me
a decade.
even today. How can you bench Morne Markle and a key Indian player? I don't recall his name, who was a key part of your throughout your league games. You benched both of
Yeah,
them, saying that they won't fit in the conditions. Benching Morne Markle and Chepak.
Morne Market. There is, yeah, it made no sense to me at that point. But yeah, the management is kind of crazy. We've seen, I think the management with both DC and Punjab, you can find fault in the way the team is run until Park Jindal decided to take over as the new owner of Delhi. They changed the name to Delhi Capitals. Park Jindal has done a wonderful job with the overall environment in the team. Similar case with RCB, as long as Vettori was there in the coaching staff, it was all downhill. Cheston brought about change, and Flower and Bobak have taken it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hassan really
Look,
brought
this
it back.
entire bush has one thorn in that whole system, and that is Manolan Rangarajan. As long as that dude exists, our chances are always a little thin. Luckily, this year, Dinesh Karthik has done a much better job assisting with the scouting system.
Yeah. Only good Tamilian.
Yeah, the only Tamilian that we support.
Yeah. I think we have covered pretty much everything. And
Now we
tomorrow,
go back to DC and sorry, GT and MI.
GT and
Yesterday's
MI.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
which was another baffling game. It was a game that MI should have won, ended up bottling that as well.
Yeah.
Because a chase of 196, um, you would think it is a pretty solid chase in Narendra Modi Stadium with the dew coming in later.
Yeah. DC
DC
faces
faces
next.
CSK next. Bro, I will tell you DC will win in Chepak. Okay? Take it from
Even
me. Spin choke is happening. Trust it.
Kul, Kuldeep versus Noor, Bapu
Yeah,
versus
Kuldeep and Noor give you the same dimensions. Aksar is better than Jadeja as far as I'm concerned.
Faf destroying CSK.
Yeah, oh bro,
Happy.
Faf is trying CSK in Chepak is
You
going
heard
to
it
be
here.
Salwa. Yeah, you heard it here, guys. But who's Delhi's third spinner? Vipraj.
Vipraj Nigam.
Vipraj
Yeah.
was leg spin. Yes, Vipraj was leg spin. All right.
KL Rahul basically owns Chepauk.
Oh yeah, KL owns Chepak. Absolutely.
Yeah. You'll be the walking favorites in Chepauk. Yeah.
For sure. So yeah, back to GT versus MI. Shubman Gill started off pretty decently with a 38 of 27, strike rate of 140.
Hmm.
Not that great, but decent in my opinion. We haven't seen peak Shubman Gill in this tournament yet, but he's getting there. He's giving the starts, he's not able to convert those starts. Sai Sudarshan, in my opinion, was another academy knock only until he started pulling up and
Yeah.
accelerating towards the
That's very
second half of
fun.
his innings.
He, that looks like a good knock, but please,
Yeah.
that cameo from Josh Butler needs a promotion up the order. Play Sai Sudarshan at 3, and this team
Play
looks
Sai at three, man.
brilliant.
The team looks so good if you play Sudarshan at three.
And you somehow, if you manage to get Wash Basin in this lineup, he will actually cook for you in Ahmedabad. Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
With
see, the one thing that
dedicated
they
lineup,
lack,
including Wash
it's
Basin. Yeah.
so let's just look at what the team resembles, right? The team has a very, very, very close resemblance to what we saw of RCB in 2016 or that era between 2014 to 16. It is very top dominant, followed by a bunch of jokers.
Yeah. They let
Sherfin
go of.
Rutherford does have a good amount of respect from my side as a batter.
Yeah.
So playing him at number five is a good decision. But year after year after year, teams pay a good amount of money for Shah Rukh Khan. They bring him into the side. He takes a dump on that team and he walks out.
Oh, it's surprising. Like this year, GT has done right by playing him at number 4, the slot where
Yeah,
he should actually
it's
be
just
playing.
that he is past his prime years
Fine.
of playing at
But
that position.
he's still under delivering everyone. Yeah.
Exactly. So that means it is time to drop Shah Rukh Khan and bring in Gilchrist Rawat.
Gilchrist Rawat. Bring in Gilchrist Rawat. Bring in Wash Basin. You have a mini RCB here.
Exactly. It does give you vibes from back in the day again because it's another. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to ask. Why the fuck are they not opening with Butler? Are they? It's a very clear statement that we made last time as well. The same issue exists in the England team. Butler bats at three for some reason and lets Salt and Duckett open when it should be Salt and Butler opening and Duckett batting at three. So it's the same scenario here. That left-handed option should not be opening just because he's a left-hander. He gives you more at number three, bring him down to number three. Butler gives you more as an opener, take him upstairs as an opener.
Yeah. Right hand,
It's
left
as
hand
simple as
combination
that.
is just overrated. I
It's
don't believe.
overrated. Now you have Abhishek and Head opening together. Both of them are lefties. You have Salt and Kohli opening together. Both of them are right-handed. You have Faf and JFM opening together. Again, both right-handed.
Yeah.
So Quinton de Kock and Sunil Narayan opening together, left-handed together. So it does not matter anymore in the era of an impact player.
Yeah,
Go for it.
especially
Send your
in
best batters up.
IPL where you play in India in slightly smaller grounds everywhere, doesn't really impact.
Yeah, and they're playing in Gujarat. Gujarat does not have boundaries that are bigger than 60 meters and all.
Yeah, like this year, it slightly looked like the boundaries were slightly pulled back. Not sure.
It does look a little pullback. It might have gone up to 65 and maybe 70 in that one direction.
Yeah.
Because they did do that for the World Cup in the cup in 2023.
Yeah.
Because they had a minimum requirement for the boundary length at least in one direction. So 70 meters was the minimum requirement then. So they do have the required space to pull the boundary length back. It's just that they never did it before this.
Yeah.
Gill and Butler can definitely be the best opening pair in the league. Um, MI might not have the 4 point record as far as I'm concerned. I think they will look a much better side once Bumrah comes in. The only issue is we don't know when Bumrah is coming in. So when I did the preview for MI, I estimated a time frame of 4 games, out of which I said if MI win one of those 4 games, they have a good chance at qualifying. But it does look like Bumrah might take a little longer to, you know, recover completely and join the team. And he should not be rushed into the team for sure because we have an important test series in England coming up after the IPL is done.
You think they're
Um,
opening their account tomorrow versus KK? They're playing in Wankhede. They have a pretty good
they're playing in
chance.
Wankhede. They have a chance, yeah, for sure. I'd say if Bumrah was here, they would have definitely opened their account tomorrow.
I still
But
think 50-50. Yeah, but they have a chance.
50, I'd give MI the edge tomorrow.
Hmm.
Especially if they leave grass on the wicket, because then they get power play wickets. They're well in.
If
They're
we leave grass, KKR
ahead
has
in the game.
better bowlers. Grass
KKR
in
has better
Wankhede would
bowlers.
be very
No, no,
unlikely.
no. So grass at Wankhede is unlikely for sure. But if they do leave grass on the wicket, and MI manage to bowl first, then it does give them the due factor in the second half of the innings to take the innings past whatever total that KKR managed to set, and never rule out the fact that I called that Andre Russell is not going to be performing this season.
Wankhede is a run fest. Yes, Narayan will go berserk. Yes, no Bumrah, so no party.
So here's the thing with Narayan, right? I have a feeling that Deepak Chahar can keep him under control. If Trent Bolt finds a decent amount of movement to just maintain that outside off line, marginal fourth stump line, you can keep Narayan under control. And
Yeah,
a bad no, yeah, it's definitely possible for Russell to step up later. I'm not ruling that
Russell
out.
has a
It's
very good record in Wankhede. He
He
always
does,
steps
yes,
in Wankhede. Yeah.
yes. But I am just saying this because it's a statement that I made in my review of KKR. I said
Yeah.
that Russell might not perform up to his standards this season. So let's see where that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Gujarat innings ended at 196 for 8. We saw Hardik Pandya pick up 2 wickets, easily their best bowler. We were making memes about MI having Deepak Chahar,
Old
Trent Bolt, and
Bumrah.
Jasprit Bumrah. And then Hardik Pandya picking up the new ball. And honestly speaking, it does look like he's pretty solid with the new ball right now. It might just make sense to give him that option. Another issue that they're facing is the fact that they're playing this dude Satyanarayana Raju, and his economy rates are not helping the team's cause. Mujib
Somehow,
has underperformed as a spin option as well.
yeah.
That was something that they'd have to address. Meanwhile, in the second innings, we saw Ishant Sharma come in and bowl his first two overs so brilliantly. Like I think in his first eight balls, he'd given away 2 runs or something along those lines. And
Hmm.
he gave away a few boundaries a little after that. He finished with 17 and 2 overs with no wickets, but that is still a pretty solid display in my opinion.
Yeah, Ishan Sharma
And
is just taking off from where he left at Delhi last season.
at Delhi, yeah, you bowl 2 overs in the power play, your job is done after that. But let's talk about that absolute peach from Siraj to Rohit Sharma.
Siraj still owns
So,
Rohit Sharma has been Bunny. Rohit Sharma has been Siraj. Bunny. Siraj was trying to swing the ball a little early on. There wasn't much swing that he could find, so he brought the length back, used the scramble seam. He was hit for two boundaries, bought one red by in. Ostam goes for a walk.
yeah, Aftam goes for a walk. And I would like to make a statement. To us, we think Rohit Sharma is ineffective in the power play.
Yeah.
No, just to make sure that Siraj gets his redemption for that Champions Trophy because they said that Siraj
Yeah.
was ineffective after the power play. So we gotta support our DSP Saab over here.
Yeah.
And let's also talk about the hit the deck kind of display that Prasidh Krishna put forward. Funnily
Yeah.
enough,
That
Kagiswar
was
Rabada
also
was the worst fucking bowler on that track. Prasidh Krishna bowled brilliantly.
4 overs,
He
18
was,
for wickets.
yeah.
Yeah. He bowled.
If he somehow manages to keep his fitness together for the rest of the season, he is going to play a pretty large role in Gujarat's chances of qualification because they play half their games in this venue.
More than his fitness, his mindset. He lacks the mindset of a fast.
Correct.
He's just all
Correct.
over the place. That's something
Look,
disappointing.
for his height, he can be landing
His height.
insanely good. It's just that I would put Prasidh Krishna and Kyle Jamieson at two equal parallels because both of them are fast bowlers that have so much potential but don't live up to it because they don't have that mindset.
Yeah.
They have the height.
Yeah. Overall, Mumbai batting was pretty disappointing. There's nothing much to talk here. Like, uh, nothing much to talk. Uh,
Yeah.
with the names that they have on the paper, this is pretty disappointing. They move in to Wankhede for their homecoming game, and there might be better chances of them opening their account tomorrow.
Yeah. And look, one good move that they managed to make is to remove Will Jacks from that playing 11, which means you can finally play Tilak and Surya in their respective positions. Tilak and 3 and Surya at 4 should not be, juggled around with. So that
Yeah,
is something that they can continue sticking with. Robin Mins at number 5 did not exactly fire for them. He is a good finishing option, and Suresh Raina rates him very highly. So it is something that still
he has
needs to
a
be
bit of
proven.
expectations to deliver, and I hope he
Yeah.
can do the job at Wankhede, where there are pretty
If
much
he
better.
does not, if he does not, then there's always the option of KL Srijit.
Yeah. Um,
Never gonna rule out KL Srijit from any form of the game. An absolute stalwart in Karnataka colors. When I say
yeah,
stalwart, he's very young. He's not done much, but whatever he's done so far, it's been absolutely brilliant, and I love him.
yeah, very good look. Yeah. With
And
that,
an
we
excellent wicket keeper. Excellent wicket keeper.
yeah, very good wicket keeper. And MI have the option. They have three options: Rickleton, Mins, or Mins keeps, right?
Mins
Yeah,
keeps. Mins is the wicket keeping option from Jharkhand. He's Black Tala.
Black. Yeah. With that, we wrap up the weekend episode covering three games. It's almost 1 a.m. on a Monday morning. We have apparently
Hey,
job.
wishing all my biryani friends a happy Ramadan.
Oh, I love Muslims. I love biryani.
I
Yeah,
love biryani.
yeah,
No, Tala's not white. Robin Mins is black. That's all. We never mentioned the second half of that statement. We just mentioned the Robin Mins part of the statement.
yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
in, Abhishek. Always happy to
As
have you
always,
around
Abhishek.
here.
Thank
Yeah.
you for staying up. Yeah.
Right.
Can't, bro. I'm very sleepy. I can't with these jokes.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Maybe save some of them for
we have to
tomorrow.
come back with a separate episode for Raidu jokes and all of that. We'll cook something up. Anyway, thank you so much,
For
gentlemen,
joining.
for joining, and the ladies in the beginning as well.
Yeah,
Very, very happy to have you all here. On that
yeah,
note, please like, please share, please subscribe,
yeah,
and leave your comments down below.
yeah. We shall see you tomorrow in the next episode. Until then, good night.
Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.